Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to a brand new video on Prize Picks. If you watch till the end of this video, I'll promise you I'm going to give you the best picks for the NBA today. We've got 11 games of hoops. It's NBA Cup action tonight on Friday. So there's a lot to get into. But first up, do me a solid, drop a like on this video, and I'm going to do you guys a solid in return and get you guys cashed out with some of these plays. So let's talk about what happened last night in the NFL. I told everybody take Las Vegas Raiders team total under 17.5. That was my lock of the day. Put it on the YouTube video, put it on the free picks subscription, put it literally everywhere I could. And right now, I can't say it's fully greened out yet, but this game is moving so slow it feels like I'm watching baseball. There's 10 minutes left in this one, and they only have 7 points so far. I'm not going to go on here and say that it's fully cashed out, but hopefully by the time you guys are watching this, the game is all wrapped up and the Raiders ended with less than 17 points. That was our play of the day. It felt like free money. And right now, it's looking really good. So if you want more plays like that, listen to the end of the video. Also, make sure you guys are signing up on the Winnable. It is winnable.com/BAM, and it's where I drop my free plays every single day. There's a free plan right here. But if you want something that's even more free, it's not just picks. It's literally a free square, 0.5 yard free square. I know a lot of you guys are on Prize Picks when they drop the free squares, when they drop the taco plays. I have found a couple other apps that basically do that every single day. And it's insane how much value you can get by just hopping on a new app. Right now, code FFBAM on Dabble is giving you a free 25 bucks straight off the bat. You don't got to deposit a dime. Free 25 bucks, Dabble, code FFBAM. And better, use the same code FFBAM. You're getting a free 10 bucks. But then once you deposit, it's up to $200 bonus cash. So there's a ton of money once you deposit. And it's not just the 10 they're giving you now. Tonight, they're also giving you a Victor Wembanyama free square. I put all the free squares up here: Curry, Shea, Wemby, and of course the free 25 bucks. There's a lot of free things you can get by just diversifying your profile. If you're already on Better and Dabble with code FFBAM, make sure you're on Sleeper, Chalkboard, and Underdog with code BAM. This might sound like a lot, right? Your phone apps might be too much. It might feel like that. But having as many apps as possible, being on as many of these as possible is a good thing because it means that you're taking advantage of all their promos, you're taking advantage of all their discounts, and that's just compounding interest, literally just compounding money once you guys stay consistent with this. It's all about staying consistent. And if you're staying on one sportsbook and one DFS app, you are not going to be making money, as much money as the guy next to you who's on 10 different apps because he's claiming his promo bonuses, he's getting the promos every single week, and he's claiming his free money right as you sign up for the app. So code BAM, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Underdog, code FFBAM for Dabble and Better. Make sure you put in the right code for the right app. Otherwise, you're not going to get credit with the discount, and then you just wasted your time. But enough about that. Let's get into the games for today. We got NBA. Lots of games tonight. So hopefully my Prize Picks are loaded. You know what? I don't need Prize Picks. I'm moving over to my app right here, and we're just going to go game by game. So talking Celtics versus Magic in this one, there's a lot to look at right here. But one of my favorite plays has been Wendell Carter on the rebound. So Wendell Carter is one of those guys who people don't pay attention to because he's not the Franz Wagner, he's not the Desmond Bane, he's not the Paolo Banchero, right? But Wendell Carter, when it comes to, just being there for his team, when it comes to actually putting in a solid shift, putting in a good amount of minutes, averaging right now, if you scroll around, 30 minutes per game, pretty much. And in these last few games when he hasn't hit, this time he got 30 minutes, only had 9 rebound chances, not a great game for him. Here, he only had 27 minutes, and here only had 15 minutes. So obviously not a good sample size. But when he gets his usual amount of minutes, he does actually end up hitting this line at a pretty good clip. So Wendell Carter is a play that I like a ton. And I want to go ahead and check this one out on the sportsbook as well, because let's go ahead and just see. Onyx is one of those sportsbooks that I like to use just to track my plays. I don't even put that much money down. I literally just put a few cents per bet just to show you guys exactly the plays that I'm taking. Right now, as you guys can see, the Raiders play was already in there. So if we look at this game, Celtics are 3.5 point underdogs in this game. Magic, of course, on the money line looks like a solid play. But the one that I actually want to go to is going to be right over here. This is why I love Onyx. There's just so many more options that you can go ahead and take here. I don't know why I can't find it. The team total right here. I scrolled right by it. I like the team total for the Magic on the over at 114. So the Magic are usually a very defensive team, usually pretty low scoring. I don't think that's going to be the case. Celtics are going to force the Magic to score quite a bit here because the Magic's defense is not as solid as it used to be. They're getting by off of name more than anything. So the Celtics are going to be able to put up quite a few points. Obviously, I like Jaylen Brown in this game too because the Magic defense, not as good as people think it is. Jaylen Brown's going to do well, and as a result, the Orlando Magic on the team total is a play that I like a lot. Now, let's move into the next one right here because we talked about that game for a good bit. Stock Cavs versus Wizards. People are literally getting bored of me saying this, but take Alex Sarr on the rebounds. This makes no sense to me. Honestly, I'll do you one better. Take him on points plus rebounds. So, points plus rebounds, it looks like the apps have him at 24.5. Sure, take him there. The only problem is his points are kind of all over the place. Sometimes he drops 30, sometimes he drops 10, right? But with the rebounds, he is super consistent. And if you look at the Cavs, right, they have a couple players that are very solid at rebounding, right? So you might be a little scared off this line, but then you just got to look back here and see his potential is so great, right? 8 rebounds in all these games, and he's not even playing 30 minutes yet, right? So Alex Sarr's potential is going to be so huge. I expect him to keep getting more and more minutes until he's getting like 30, 32 minutes a night, which would be absolutely huge for him. And this line is, projected to be at 7.5. It seems like the lines haven't even dropped for some of these games yet. That's how early we are, by the way, getting you guys the plays every single day. So 7.5, if that's the line, take it there. But if you want to move it down, take it at 5.5. That's probably not going to give you much payout. Take it at 6.5. I'm telling you guys, that'll be a good parlay piece for you. But moving into the next one, Rockets versus Spurs. I expect a lot of you will be tuned into this game. I know I'm going to be tuned into this game. So Rockets versus Spurs. Wemby has been disappointing, right? So let's think about it. How have the Suns and the Lakers been able to neutralize Wemby? If you watched either of those games, you'll know that what I'm about to say is exactly the truth. They put a smaller guard on Wemby. They didn't put the big man on Wemby. They put a smaller guard on Wemby, and every time he caught the ball, they tried to push him as far as possible. They forced him to either put the ball on the floor and make a play or pass the ball away. And every time they were able to use their small guard, lower center of gravity, push Wemby away from the rim, and then they could double team him every time he's about to put the ball on the floor. So they literally are just forcing Wembanyama to not be the playmaker. That is exactly what they're doing. And that's exactly what's worked for the Suns team. Suns beat the Spurs by 12. Lakers, of course, beat the Spurs by 2 in that elite game. That was a super fun game on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday night? No, Wednesday night. Very fun game right there. But let's talk about who has been showing up as a result of that, right? So it's very scary at times to be like, well, I hope that the Rockets do what the Lakers did and try to neutralize Wemby. It's a lot better to just take the player who's been capitalizing off of Wemby not being the main guy. And that right now is Stephon Castle. So Stephon Castle has dropped 20 points in 3 straight games, then had one off game here against the Lakers when he shot 1 of 5 for 3, right? Very bad shooting splits right there, 3 of 11 from the field. But as you guys can see, he's getting to the free throw line. He shot 11 free throws in this game, which means he's getting the free throw line a ton. Why is he getting the free throw line a ton? Because the ball is in his hands. Look at this. The ball is in his hands a lot more than it was at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the season, he had 3 free throw attempts here, or 3 free throw makes. 3 free throw makes. Now he's getting 9 free throw makes. So it's so clear that at the beginning, teams were so confused. They didn't know. What are we supposed to do against the Spurs? Wemby looks like an alien out there. It's impossible to defend, right? What are we going to do? But what Stephon Castle has been able to do is literally just capitalize off of that. Teams are going to double Wemby. Okay, Steph Castle is going to go ahead, and he's going to be that guy for them. So that's exactly why I like Castle right here on the points. You can just take him PRA. If you want an exact play, take him PRA. But I usually just wait to closer to the game time, see which line is the lowest, and take it over there. Right. Now we're talking about the Hawks versus the Raptors. This is one that we're not going to spend a ton of time on. But if you guys want a parlay piece, I'm going to take Brandon Ingram at 15 plus points. So this would be 14.5. Brandon Ingram on points is a very solid play, especially against this Hawks team. Hawks are not a great defense. Everybody knows this. This is just pretty much a fact at this point. And the 2 times that he has missed, this line he's been playing against good defenses, right? He's played against the Spurs, very good defense. He played against the Bucks, pretty good defense. But honestly, this one's kind of weird when they won by 28 points, right? So this was a very, very weird game. Pretty sure Giannis did not end up playing in that game. That was a major reason, right? Now we're getting into the next one. Michael Porter Jr. is a player that you do not want to bet on, and the graph shows you exactly why. 15 points, 30 points. 17 points, 30 points. Nobody's got any freaking clue what this man's going to do, except we know one thing, and that's that he's going to shoot a lot of threes, right? So if you want to take him on 3 points attempted, I don't hate that play at all. But what I'm going to do is just fade the entire Nets team because nobody wants to be messing around with that. And I'm actually going to go ahead and take an under right here. So Asar Thompson on the under is where I'm going to take it. If you want to move the line, moving the line up is not something that most apps allow you to do. That's why I like Onyx. It allows you to do that. His line right now is 15.5. I guess some apps are offering it at 16.5. So I would take Asar Thompson on the under. He gets a lot of minutes and he gets a lot of burn because he's great at defending. I wouldn't say great at playmaking, but he's an athletic freak, right? And I expect in a couple of years, this line of 15.5 is going to feel like a joke once he actually gets a jump shot down. But right now, that's not the time. We're not talking about the potential for this player. We're talking about how the player is right now. And what happens is every time Asar Thompson hits this line, he is just having a very good shooting night. That is pretty much the only way. He's shooting over 56% right there. And even when he gets to the line, he still misses quite a few free throws, right? So we're basically just betting on Asar Thompson either not taking that many shots or just shooting his regular shooting percentage. And that alone will let us hit the under. Also, they're playing the Nets. You always have to keep in mind, against the Nets, this could be a blowout. He could only play 25 minutes instead of the usual 30, right? But now, Bulls versus Bucks, this is a great game. The problem is we don't exactly know if Giannis is going to play, right? I expect he will, but it's still kind of up in the air. One guy that I have loved recently is Ryan Rollins. I like him over on PRA. If you get him at 19.5 plus PRA, or basically 20 plus PRA, this is a great play for you guys. Ryan Rollins has just been such an underrated player for the Bucks. Go watch some of his tape. It'll absolutely amaze you. I promise you. But we're going over to the other side of the ball right here because the Bulls just have so much to talk about. And number one guy is Josh Giddey. So Josh Giddey, 20 plus points, feels like a great play right now. As you guys can see, he is so consistent, right? Consistently 19, 21, 18, 20, 32, 23, 29. So that is literally the definition of consistent. I don't think there's another player in the league. I guess you could count Luka, but he's only played 5 games. That has a graph as flat as this, as consistent as this, right? And every time he's not hitting this line, every time he's not getting anywhere near 20 points, it's because he's busting over for 30 points, right? So if you want to take Giddey on the over at 20.5, just 20 plus points, I absolutely love that play. Modest Buzelis is a guy that I like to target on the threes. He has had such a good touch from 3 recently. And if you watch his interviews, he says this summer, he's been working on his threes, right? He says in the gym, I'm shooting like 70, 80%, right? And all that we need is for him to take that shot in the gym and transfer that into the game, right? That is all that we need. And so far, he's been doing exactly that. So here, he shot 6 threes and he made 4 of them. Here, he shot 5 threes and he made 2 of them. 6 threes, he made 4 of them. 7 threes, he made 2 of them. That sounds bad. That's still almost 30%, right? So not a terrible play there. Here, he shot 4 threes, he made 2 of them. So he's getting up 4 to 6 threes a game, and he's knocking down at least 2 of them. Very solid play. Take Buzelis on the threes. But we're going to keep it rolling right here on the sportsbook and just hop over for these last few games. Actually, now that I'm here, I want to check up, see the Raiders are still nowhere near their 17.5. You guys should have all cashed on that play. But let's go over to this one. Where were we at? Here we are. Grizzlies versus Mavs. This is such a weird game right now, guys. Such a weird game because the Mavericks are just a bad team and nobody knows why. And the Grizzlies are a bad team and everybody knows why because they do not have an identity right now. The Memphis Grizzlies do not have an identity and it's mainly Ja Morant's fault. I guess that's the only way I could say it. This is the prime example of what you call a fade game. You do not want anything to do with this game. I do not want anything to do with this game. If you put a single dime of your money on this game, you've lost your mind. Just don't do it. You don't have a read on this game. Anybody who's telling you out there, anybody else on the internet, any of your buddies saying, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen here, don't listen to them. This is one of those games where the Mavs could win by 20, the Grizzlies could win by 20. This could be a triple overtime, and the top scorer could be freaking, I don't even know, literally somebody who's never heard of, right? That's exactly how random this game could be. This is a fade game. So stay away from this game unless you're taking someone like Cooper Flag at 0.5 points because you signed up for an app. That's the only money I would put on this game. Now, let's talk about the Hornets versus the Heat. This is one of those games where the Heat are just such a bad matchup for the Hornets. And the Hornets especially, I mean, it's really tough, right? All these players are for the Hornets right here. Ball, Bridges, Sexton, Knipple, Kalkbrenner. And Kalkbrenner is one of those players that is very useful on defense, very good pick and roll player, but he hasn't been able to get his touch in the rim as good as we want it to, right? LaMelo Ball, we hope he can play in this game. We've got no idea, right? We still have no idea. So his line here is where I would actually take it the best because I expect LaMelo, if he plays, to shoot 10 plus threes in this game. Just chuck up at least 10 threes, and then 4 of them to fall is a very good play there for a guy of LaMelo Ball's caliber. But let's get into the next one right here. We're going over to the Jazz Timberwolves. This one, I would say just take Timberwolves on the spread. This one's a really weird one to predict, but the Jazz have looked really good at the beginning of the season, and they're kind of falling back to the same old Utah Jazz that we know. And, I mean, not many people love the Jazz, but if you know and love the Jazz, shout out you. Nuggets versus Warriors. So, Jokic at 27.5 points is a crazy play. Once again, it's kind of like what I'm saying. I don't know why, but Nikola Jokic on points is not consistent, right? Sometimes looks like he just goes out there and passes the ball way more than he shoots the ball, right? He just doesn't put up that many shots because he just doesn't feel like it or whatever. And sometimes it's because of the defense, right? Sometimes the defense is like, our main goal is to stop Jokic scoring. So they do that. But then he's able to pass the ball. He finds any pass on the court, and he makes that play, right? But then if he wants to score, if the defense gives him one-on-one with an easy matchup, he can put up 30 with his eyes closed, right? So if you're taking Jokic, you've lost your mind, especially on points, right? Other plays, I don't hate it, right? But the one that I like in this one, we're going to actually, I scrolled past it already. We're just going to take the straight over right here. I wanted to get the alt line over. It seems like that'll drop soon. But 228.5 last time these teams played. Of course, it went into overtime. That was a huge game. This is one of those games where I think it's going to be a very high scoring game, right? These teams know each other very well. They know where the weaknesses are. The first quarter, I expect is going to be very high scoring. And then after that, it might temper down a little bit. But 28.5, it's one of those plays. You just like the spot a lot for this matchup. Last game of the night is Thunder versus Kings. Hopefully this is the last game. This is the last game on my sportsbook right now. So that's all we're going to talk about. But sometimes I apologize. These books are a little bit late in updating. I'm still recording this 11 p.m. the night before. So let's talk about this one. I mean, because it's just a really weird one, right? The Thunder are coming off of a loss to the Portland Trailblazers where they lost by just 2 points. And this Kings team, it's going to feel like an entirely new league, right? When you play the Portland Trailblazers, they're literally at your throat, right? 94 feet, they are pressing you, full press. It feels like at least 20 or 30% of the time, the Trailblazers are just spamming out all-out press. Like your little brother playing 2K, they don't know how the buttons work. They just spam a full court press, right? But the Portland Trailblazers are good at it. That is literally the only way I can say it. The Trailblazers are really good at it, and it tires other teams out. This game, gonna feel like a walk in the park for the OKC Thunder. I'm taking them to cover the spread. They've just played against the hardest defense in basketball, right? Or the Thunder are obviously the best defense in basketball. The Spurs are up there too. The Trailblazers are up there, right? They've played against the top 3 defense in basketball, and now they're going to go face the Kings. This is going to be a major difference. It's going to feel like a different league. It actually is going to feel like that. So I expect the Thunder to put up a ton of points early. If you can find their first half spread, I would take them to cover the first half spread. The only reason I say that and not the regular spread is because they could go up by 30 here and then put in the scrubs, and the scrubs could lower them down and they could only win by 8, right? Only win by 8 when they were obviously going to win the game anyways, right? So that's my play, Thunder on the spread, but hopefully you guys can find it. Right now, I can't find it because I'm recording this very early, like I said. But live update, the Raiders only have 7 points. Cash the play, pretty much. I'm just going to say that early, cash the play. That's all I got for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you watching to the end. Let's make some money on NBA Friday.